Hey you guys, it's Britt. Tonight we're here to talk about the Dougherty Dozen. I was over on their subreddit and I came across this post I really want to share with you guys. So if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys, so if you're clicking on this video, chances are you know all about the Dougherty Dozen, especially if you're a subscriber or watcher of my channel. I've been covering Alicia and her, what I think is very problematic content for the kids that are in her home. Their medical issues are being used, they have zero privacy, and she has repeatedly not only shown people where she lives, but she also likes to show people where her children sleep at night. She will also let those same people know when her kids are going out of town, like she did with her daughter just recently. Her daughter was going to some sort of Odyssey of the Mind event in a different state, and Alicia was not going to be traveling with her, but she made it a point to announce to Instagram that her daughter was going to be going to this event in this state, and all it took was 5 seconds of research, and I found out exactly where the event was. And it just speaks to the security concerns, the privacy concerns, and the overall message that I've kind of tried to elaborate on when it comes to her platform. So I want to talk about this because the word savior has been used a lot with Alicia, not only with me, but with a lot of other people online that look at her content and say, she has a savior complex. Look at how she acts. This is savior energy. This is what saviors kind of portray to people. A lot of the things that she says and does is what saviors do in order to gain confidence in themselves. They get praise, they get attention, and they are adored by some people. But usually when you're labeled a savior, it's not necessarily a good thing, because you're doing these things for self-serving reasons. You're not necessarily doing them to actually help the people that you're either adopting, fostering, helping, even if it's someone that's not living with you. If you're just trying to help someone, but you're constantly talking about it and you're constantly posting about it for social media, chances are at least a couple people are going to come across that and say you have a savior complex. And that's what happened with Alicia. So this post was popped over on their subreddit, and the caption says, Alicia Old Insta posts. I guess she was always an exploiter and a savior before she officially became the Dougherty Dozen. These posts were from 2017 to 2018. She must have to make these comments about bio parents to make herself feel better about herself. Her side commentary regarding the bio parents of these children has been something that I've noticed for a little while now. And she will consistently do this, where she says, look at the poor conditions that I've taken these kids from, and look at all the great things that I'm doing for them, because look at all the bad things that the parents were doing. Most of the time, if your kids, and please remember, I feel like I always have to say this, I am not a parent. I am just sharing my opinion as someone who's looking at public information and public content. Usually, if your children are placed into foster care, or you are putting them up for adoption, it's because you as a parent have recognized that you're unable to give them the quality of life that you want them to have. I don't think that anyone needs Alicia to remind them of what a bad person they are. Because guess what? A lot of times, in fact, I would say most of the time, these are not bad people. They might just be in bad situations due to mental health issues. Some of these people might have issues with substance abuse. Like I said, they might have mental health issues that either are diagnosed or undiagnosed. Maybe they're just working through a really tough chapter. So they made the decision to either put their kids into the foster care system, or they put their children or child up for adoption. A lot of them have recognized that they are not the best parent for this child. Now, I also, don't get me wrong, I know that there are also a lot of cases where children are removed from the home, and even though that is part of it, I also recognize that a lot of these parents make the decision for the kids. So I don't want to only say that it's kids that were taken out of the home. But the first post says, and I'm going to blur out the images like I usually do, but I'll explain to you guys what these pictures are. The first picture is of her adopted twin boys. The caption says, "Today's adventure, allergy testing for Team Double Trouble." I don't really like that she calls them Double Trouble. I know that she's probably trying to be quirky and cute, but I don't really like that, especially when a lot of times these adopted kids already feel like they're a burden for the parents of the household. I just think that we could forego labeling them Double Trouble, but again, that's just a sidebar. She continued by saying, "The initial skin scratch panel didn't give us any answers as to why they need 3 allergy meds and an inhaler daily to be able to breathe clearly. My guess is their mom's chain smoking destroyed their 31-week preemie lungs. So I'll continue to live like I run a pharmacy, and the doctor said in a year, see if they'd be good candidates for allergy shots." And then she also responded to someone in the comments to make note of substance use. So this is just a great example of, look at me, look at what I have saved these kids from, and it's just so distasteful. The next photo says, "The Oreo triplets checking out the new house last night, even in Oreo order." And it shows the twins and then one of her other children in the middle. This is really corny. This is stupid. It's not cute. It's not a cute little caption for Instagram. I just find it to be really corny. And the last photo says, 3 years ago, late August, we got a desperate call asking if we could take foster twin boys for only 5 days. Well, 1,177 days later, those 5 days have turned into forever. We would like to introduce you to, and she lists their names and the placement date. There's nowhere you can be that isn't where you're meant to be. It's easy. All you need is love. All you need is love, blah, 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 whatever. And then she thanks her photographer and then someone else for these awesome t-shirts. Obviously, I will be marking out their names and the date that they were placed just to protect their privacy. You know, posting full names on social media of children, that's a whole nother conversation. I'm going to read a few of the comments, but just to kind of finish out my thoughts on this, it's such a stark reminder of the type of information that she's okay with putting out. There's no holding back. There's no second guessing. Maybe we shouldn't put their full names out onto the internet when they're so young. They are still, you know, even if they had been there for an extended period of time, these kids are always going to be adjusting to living in a home, being adopted. It's a lot for kids to go through, and I'm not speaking from direct experience, but just common knowledge to say that if you're, you know, adopted into a family, I don't think that you're ever, you know, at least maybe, I think that it would take several years to feel like you're fully adjusted. And these kids are still so young. They don't need to be used for her savior complex. And as photos on Instagram, so that she can put a caption that is shading the birth parent that has probably already gone through a lot of mental health struggle to know that her children are no longer in her care. And Alicia has said before, oh, we don't just foster the kids, we foster the whole family. And Jesus take the wheel if any of these people ended up being, quote, fostered by Alicia, because as soon as she finds out any little piece of info that can make you look bad and her look good, you better guarantee it's going to either be part of a TikTok, part of a YouTube vlog, or part of an Instagram caption. Just like she exhibited here, this is not something new. This is something that she's been doing. It's been a way for her to build up her audience, build up her engagement, and receive praise from people who are okay with the kids being exploited and not having privacy, and their medical issues being used, and shade being thrown at birth parents. There are some people that actually applaud this, and I think that it's disgusting. Someone said, I don't even know where to start. What makes this so messed up. Someone else said, what about being thankful for that mother instead of bashing her all over the net for those kids? And then they're basically saying that the kids could end up not liking Alicia because of the public bashing of the birth mother. I would definitely be pissed when I get older because you talk about me without me telling you that it's okay. It doesn't sound like she's thankful for the mother at all. And without her, she wouldn't have those kids, which is completely valid. I just don't agree with Alicia stepping on the back of a birth parent in order to make herself appear to be some sort of saving grace, like she is out here literally saving lives. I understand that fostering and adopting is amazing, and I've said that consistently while discussing Alicia and her problematic content. Adoption and fostering is needed, and I think that awareness is a great thing, but the way that she's gone about it is all wrong, in my opinion. The kids don't need to be shown. All of their info doesn't need to be out there for people to consume. Their medical info doesn't need to be used as a look at all the difficult things that I'm dealing with. These things can be mentioned at like a surface level, and people will understand what you're dealing with. They don't need to know every diagnosis and every medication that this child is taking. But to literally step on the back of a birth parent to make herself look like a mom of the year for doing what, quote, nobody else was willing to do is distasteful, it's tacky, and it's disgusting. And as long as she continues to make content, I will continue to talk about her. This is a great example of the wrong way to do social media when it comes to parenting, whether it's foster, adoption, bio, it doesn't matter. The way she's gone about it is all wrong, and it's distasteful, and I'm going to keep talking about it. The other thing I want to mention just in passing, I'm almost done with my thoughts. You guys know that she spends a ton of money at Wegmans, and something that subreddit has noticed and something that I've noticed too is that she's been showing the Wegmans brand items a lot more. And some people have said, oh, well, maybe it's because money is slowing down and that's why she's buying store brand stuff instead of, quote, name brand stuff. I buy store brand stuff all the time. It works the same usually. But I think what she's doing is trying to get a sponsorship with Wegmans. I think what she's hoping is she shows how much money she's spending in their store, the fact that she is specifically buying their store brand stuff, hoping that someone from Wegmans management, or who knows if they even have a social media team, I'm not sure, but I think that she is really itching for a brand deal with them or some sponsored content. We know that she loves to get free shit. Let's be honest, it's all over her content. She loves it. And I think that that's the goal of the Wegmans stuff. You guys tell me how you feel about that, but I think that she would take any brand deal or sponsorship that comes her way. She blows a ton of money, and I don't think that she would mind being sponsored by Wegmans or any other brand that might want to work with her. So either way, that would be unfortunate, because if I find out that Wegmans is sponsoring her, I will no longer shop at their store, and that is definitely my favorite grocery store, but I will sacrifice it because I think that when these brands team up with clearly problematic influencers, that's just not where I'm going to put my money. There are other stores that I can shop at, but we're not even there. I want to hear what you guys think. So for now, if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.